Detroit is a city built on comebacks, resilient, relentless, and always ready to rise again. From the ashes of industry to the heart of its neighborhoods, this city has weathered storms that would have broken lesser places. Its streets echo with stories of perseverance, of people who refuse to give up, and of a community that finds hope even in the darkest times. Detroit's spirit is forged in adversity, and its pride runs deep, uniting generations in a shared belief that no setback is ever final. The Detroit Tigers embody that spirit, especially on a crisp October afternoon with their season on the line. The chill in the air is matched only by the intensity on the field, as players and fans alike brace for what could be the final game of the year. The stadium buzzes with anticipation, every seat filled with hope and anxiety, every fan bundled up against the cold but burning with passion for their team. In Detroit, baseball isn't just a pastime, it's a lifeline, a rallying point for a city that knows the value of fighting for every inch. Facing elimination in the ALDS against the Seattle Mariners, the Tigers were pushed to the brink. The scoreboard told a story of struggle, of missed opportunities and mounting pressure. Every pitch, every swing, every moment felt magnified, as if the weight of the entire city rested on the shoulders of the players in the dugout. The Mariners, relentless and hungry, celebrated each small victory, making the challenge even steeper for Detroit. For fans at Comerica Park, this was more than a game. It was a test of faith and a chance for redemption. The crowd's energy surged with every play, orange towels waving like beacons of hope. Nervous glances and anxious cheers filled the stands, as families, friends, and strangers came together, united by their love for the Tigers and their city. In these moments, the ballpark became a sanctuary, a place where dreams could be realized or heartbreak endured. The city watched, breath held, hoping for a miracle and a new chapter in Detroit's legacy of turnarounds. In bars and living rooms across the city, fans clung to every pitch, every out, their hearts pounding in unison. The skyline glowed as night fell, each light a silent witness to the drama unfolding at Comerica Park. For Detroiters, this was about more than baseball. It was about proving once again that comebacks are in their DNA. The Tigers needed a hero, a spark to ignite a rally and keep their championship hopes alive. Every at-bat was a chance for someone to step up, to etch their name into Detroit lore. The dugout buzzed with nervous energy, players urging each other on, knowing that one swing could change everything. The pressure was immense, but so was the opportunity, to become the face of a comeback that would be remembered for years to come. Every player felt the weight of the city's expectations, knowing 9 innings could define their season. The stakes had never been higher, and the margin for error had never been smaller. In the dugout, routines became rituals, adjusting gloves, sharing quiet words, pacing with restless anticipation. Each player carried not just their own dreams, but the hopes of an entire city longing for one more comeback. The stage was set for a classic postseason drama, one that would demand heart, grit, and a comeback worthy of Detroit. Under the bright stadium lights, every play was magnified, every cheer amplified. The crowd rose as one, living and dying with each pitch, each catch, each run. This was the kind of moment that defined not just a season, but a city's identity. The Tigers had to answer the call. With determination in their eyes and the roar of Detroit behind them, they stepped onto the field, ready to fight for every out, every run, and every chance to keep their story alive. In Detroit, comebacks aren't just possible, they're expected. And on this October night, the city and its team stood together, ready to write the next great chapter in their legacy. Before the first pitch was even thrown, the Detroit Tigers found themselves locked in a battle that went far beyond the Mariners in the opposing dugout. They were up against the heavy burden of their own recent history, a history marked by missed opportunities, heartbreak, and the sting of falling short when it mattered most. The echoes of past disappointments seemed to fill the air at Comerica Park, pressing down on every player and fan alike. An 8-game home losing streak haunted the team, casting a long shadow over the stadium. The pain of last year's Game 5 heartbreak was still fresh in everyone's minds, a wound that hadn't quite healed. Each empty seat and every disappointed face in the crowd was a reminder of how much was at stake and how much the city yearned for redemption. The pressure to win at home was immense. The Tigers knew that another loss would not just be another mark in the standings, it would deepen a painful narrative that had followed them for seasons. The tension in the air was palpable, as if the entire stadium was holding its breath, waiting to see if this would finally be the night the story changed. In the dugout, manager ajhinch gathered his players, urging them to block out the noise and focus on the present moment. He reminded them that the ghosts of the past had no power over what they could accomplish tonight. It was about playing for each other, for the fans, and for the pride of Detroit. As Tigers legend Lou Whitaker stepped onto the field to throw the ceremonial first pitch, the crowd was reminded of the franchise's storied history. Whitaker's presence was a bridge between the glory days and the present, a symbol of what the Tigers have meant to this city for generations. The roar of the crowd was more than just noise. It was a collective plea for hope, a desperate wish to see their team rise above adversity. Fans waved rally towels and chanted, trying to will their team to victory, their voices echoing with both anxiety and belief. Meanwhile, the Mariners entered the game with confidence and hunger, sensing an opportunity to capitalize on Detroit's vulnerability. Their energy was unmistakable, and they looked ready to seize the moment. For the Tigers, every pitch, every swing, and every play was magnified. There was no margin for error. Each moment on the field carried the weight of the season, and the players knew that a single mistake could tip the balance. The hopes and dreams of an entire city rested on the shoulders of the Tigers as they took the field for Game 4. Detroit's skyline stood as a silent witness, the city's spirit intertwined with every pitch and every cheer. Tonight, it was time to prove that this year would be different, that the Tigers could rise above the weight of history and fight for a new chapter. The early innings did little to calm Detroit's nerves. From the very first pitch, there was a sense of unease in the air, a tension that seemed to ripple through the stands. Fans clutched their rally towels a little tighter, glancing anxiously at the scoreboard, hoping for a sign that things would turn around. The Mariners built a 3-0 lead by the fifth, and Comerica Park's energy faded into anxious silence. The once boisterous crowd grew quiet, their cheers replaced by worried murmurs. Every run Seattle scored felt like a weight pressing down on the stadium, making the deficit seem even larger. The Tigers' offense looked lost, stifled by Seattle's Bryce Miller. His pitches seemed untouchable, and Detroit's hitters struggled to make solid contact. Each at-bat ended in frustration, as Miller racked up strikeouts and kept the Tigers off balance. Every out felt like a step closer to the end. The dugout grew quieter with each passing inning, players exchanging glances that spoke volumes about their mounting frustration. The sense of urgency was palpable, but so was the creeping doubt. Doubt crept in. Was this another chapter of heartbreak? Fans who had seen this story before braced themselves for disappointment, remembering past seasons where hope slipped away just when it seemed within reach. Casey Mize battled on the mound, but the Mariners' lineup was relentless. He dug deep, trying to keep his team in the game, but Seattle's hitters kept finding ways to get on base, forcing Mize to work for every out. The bullpen tried to keep hope alive, but the deficit felt insurmountable. Relievers warmed up, ready to answer the call, but the pressure was immense. Every pitch carried the weight of the season, and the margin for error was razor-thin. The Tigers were down to their last 15 outs, needing a spark to shift momentum. The players searched for inspiration, knowing that one big hit could change everything. The crowd, tense and hopeful, waited for someone to step up and ignite a rally. Fans and players alike wondered, did Detroit have one more comeback left? The faithful clung to hope, remembering past moments of magic, searching for any sign that this night could be different. Determination flickered in the eyes of the players, refusing to give in. The season teetered on the edge. In the dugout, the manager gathered his team, urging them to dig deep and believe. The crowd leaned forward, every pitch and every swing magnified by the stakes. As the Tigers came to bat in the bottom of the fifth, everything hung in the balance. The next few innings would decide not just the game, but the spirit of a team and a city longing for a breakthrough. It was now or never. Every decision, every swing, every pitch mattered more than ever before. The Tigers knew they had to seize the moment if they wanted to keep their season alive. The city held its breath, united in hope and anxiety, waiting to see if their team could defy the odds and write a new ending to a familiar story. The comeback began with a flicker of hope in the bottom of the fifth. Dylan Dingler doubled, driving in Detroit's first run and electrifying the crowd. Jahmai Jones pinch hitting under pressure, followed with another clutch double. Suddenly, it was 3-2. Comerica Park roared back to life. Javier Baez, the team's fiery leader, stepped up with a runner in scoring position. He delivered a line drive single, tying the game at 3. In minutes, the Tigers erased the deficit and reignited belief. The dugout came alive, the fans erupted, and the momentum shifted. The Tigers had stared down elimination and refused to blink. The spark had become a fire. Detroit was alive, and the rally was just beginning. The impossible felt possible again. The Tigers had found their fight. With the game tied, Detroit's stars seized the moment. Riley Green led off the sixth with a towering home run, his first postseason blast, giving the Tigers a 4-3 lead. Comerica Park exploded in celebration. The energy was contagious, the belief unshakable. Later that inning, Javier Baez returned to the plate, hungry for more. He crushed a 2-run homer, his sixth of the postseason, stretching the lead to 7-3. The 1-2 punch from Green and Baez was devastating. In a single inning, Detroit turned a tie into a commanding advantage. The Tigers' biggest stars had delivered when it mattered most. The Mariners were reeling. Detroit's house was rocking. The comeback was in full swing. The Tigers' offense was unstoppable. In the seventh, Gleyber Torres joined the party with a solo home run, making it 8-3. The lineup's depth was on full display. Everyone contributed. Detroit added another run in the eighth. The final score, 9-3. Meanwhile, the bullpen was flawless. Troy Melton, the rookie, pitched 3 scoreless innings, shutting down Seattle. The Tigers executed the perfect formula, relentless offense and shutdown pitching. 8 unanswered runs over 3 innings, total domination. Every player played a part, from big hits to key outs. Detroit had shown they were built for October. The message was clear. The Tigers were a force. Comerica Park transformed into a cauldron of noise and hope. The fifth-inning rally woke the crowd. By Green's homer, the stadium was shaking. Fans waved orange towels, high-fived strangers, and roared with every big moment. The energy was infectious, fueling the players on the field. The crowd became the Tigers' 10th man, making life miserable for the Mariners. The home field advantage was undeniable. As the final out was recorded, the celebration was pure euphoria. Players and fans alike soaked in the moment, united by the comeback. It was a night no one would forget, a perfect example of Detroit's bond with its team. The roar of Comerica Park had willed the Tigers to victory. The city's heartbeat as one. This win was more than survival, it was a statement. The Tigers, once trailing 3-0, had reignited the dream of reaching the ALCS for the first time since 2013. The comeback shattered doubts and gave the team and city new belief. Breaking the home losing streak was a psychological breakthrough. The momentum was now Detroit's, and the fans' loyalty was rewarded. The bond between team and city grew stronger. Now, just one win separated the Tigers from the ALCS. The pressure shifted to Seattle, who had let a golden chance slip away. Detroit had seized control of its destiny. The dream was alive and within reach. The celebration was sweet, but the job wasn't finished. The series was tied. Everything came down to Game 5 in Seattle. The Tigers faced a hostile crowd and immense pressure. But they had their ace, Tarik Skubal, ready to take the mound. Confidence surged through the clubhouse. Skubal was their guy. Detroit carried all the momentum after their epic comeback. The Mariners, stunned, now faced the pressure. Game 5 would be a battle of wills. A test of mental toughness. One game for a trip to the ALCS, Tigers versus Mariners, Skubal versus Kirby. Detroit had fought back from the brink. Now they could complete the comeback. The stage was set for a dramatic finish. The dream was alive.